I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Yeah, Steve Bannon's always good for jokes. Mike Birbiglia took to Twitter, said, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. Well, actually, Steve Bannon's going to pay for it. Well, actually, you're going to pay Steve Bannon and he's going to keep the money. Also, there won't be a wall. From the late night shows, Seth Meyers, a crowdsourced fundraiser to build a wall in the middle of the desert. Clearly, this is a scam from the start. The thing was one rung below those companies that claim to name a star after you. Seth again, you know Steve Bannon, the gentleman who currently looks like a guy selling exotic reptiles on the Venice Beach boardwalk? That's pretty good. Trevor Noah said, I can't believe this. Another Trump guy has been arrested. After the Aryan Brotherhood and the Latin Kings, the largest prison gang in America might be the former Trump campaign officials. Trevor, and anything about this story is insane. First of all, Bannon was arrested on a 150-foot yacht, and I know everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but I mean, let's be real. Anyone arrested on a yacht, yeah, you're guilty. Trevor, again, he's accused of stealing money from people who thought they were donating to build Donald Trump's wall because, you know, you wouldn't want criminals sneaking into the country. Seth Meyers, this is the perfect encapsulation of the Trump era from beginning to end. The wall was a nonstop scam. Trump scammed his supporters by telling them Mexico would pay for it. Then we ended up paying for it. Then this baked potato Fabio over here said he'd raise money for it, then scammed everyone again by allegedly skimming money from it. It's a Russian nesting doll of fraud. I can't wait until Bannon raises money for his legal defense fund and we find out he lost it all at the racetrack. James Corden in the mix. He said, I don't know where I stand on this story. I don't. On the one hand, I'm angry that he defrauded these people. On the other hand, he defrauded people who were donating to build Trump's border wall and therefore deprive immigrants of just seeking out a better life. I don't know what to think. It's a weird sensation. I'm happy about both. James Corden again. The money was used to fund a lavish lifestyle, which if you're Steve Bannon means morphing into a way too tan Russell Crowe. And Seth Meyers said, seriously, Trump has enough criminals around him for an Ocean's 11 remake. John Oliver chimed in on the DNC. He said, I really hope the DNC strategy this week of wooing undecided voters with the star power of John Kasich and Meg Whitman pays off. And he said, it's hard to convince progressive voters you're a forward-looking party when your convention feels like a Zoomcast reunion, except the show is the 2008 RNC. John made the mayor of Danbury, Connecticut mad. From NBC Connecticut, your home for comedy news, Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton is firing back at John Oliver a week after the comedian took some shots at Danbury during a segment on the August 16th show. Oliver mentioned issues that years ago accidentally left residents of Hartford and New Britain off jury pool lists. It was during his explanation of what happened that he decided to zero in on Danbury. And Oliver said, if you're going to forget a town in Connecticut, why not forget Danbury? Well, the mayor has fired back. He has announced a plan to name the city sewage treatment facility as the John Oliver Memorial Sewer Plant. The mayor said the reason, because it's full of crap. Just like you, John. Oh, zing. Also, I love that NBC Connecticut spelled crap C**P. Very clean site there at NBC Connecticut. Sam B spoke to Variety, and they said, hey, let's say we're in a normal time without the pandemic. You go into an office building, step in the elevator, and Donald Trump's in the elevator. What do you say? Sam said, oh, God, what do I say? I would honestly just say, I think you're doing a terrible job. I don't understand where you're coming from. Can't you just step down? Why don't you just stop? Why are you even trying to be the president? We can all see how much you hate it. I'd be a reasonable person. I think I'd be normal. There's no other way I could be. I don't have a monologue prepared for the moment. I think I'd just start talking to him and then he'd hate it. He would not be listening. He would definitely be on his phone, wouldn't know who I am. So what if Sam were running for office? What would her campaign slogan be? She said it would really be like, oh, for F's sake, would you just vote for me? I don't know what I'm doing. And would she ever want Trump on the show, even if the opportunity presented itself? She said, nope. He's an impenetrable narcissist. I don't know what would be gained. I know that my soul would exit my body. I really would consider that slumming. Like, I don't love to give voice to conspiracy theorists and things like that. I wouldn't be elevating his voice, but would I be giving credence to his views? I think it's useless. He doesn't know what he's talking about or he's lying, so what's the point? So who's her dream guest? The Foo Fighters. Bryan Callen has been taking a leave of absence from his podcast Fighter and the Kid. You may know that Bryan has been fighting off some sexual misconduct claims. So he announced last week he'd have a Patreon-only podcast called The Fighter and the Rinks. An episode came out a week ago Friday, but then on Wednesday, Callen posted a video for all subscribers announcing that it was all over. This from the Laugh Button. In a video originally posted to the Patreon page, he said that despite the podcast releasing its first episode, quote, we're doing everything we can do to bring it to you, but right now, due to forces beyond our control, that is not possible. So instead, he announced he's starting 2 other podcasts. The first one is a show with Sam Tripoli called Conspiracy Social Club. That podcast will be about Tripoli breaking down the conspiracies with Callen debunking it. The second is called The Callen Report, which will be Callen's hot take on events taking place around the world. In other news, Callen has reportedly been dropped by his agents at CAA. And from ESPN, if you were watching the Pirates game last week, you saw Rob Schneider in the stands, at least his cardboard cutouts. Cutouts of Schneider from 51st Dates, the bench warmers, and the hot chick were placed just beyond the outfield wall. Derek Holland said Rob hit him up. He asked me one day at the beginning of the season if he could get a cardboard cutout. And I said, yeah, I can take care of that. It took a little longer than I thought, but I made sure it was worthwhile for him. I wanted to give him something to laugh about. Gotta have fun with it. If we can't have fans in the stands during the coronavirus, at least we can make the most of it. Schneider texted Holland after the game, saying he was amused by the gesture. Holland said, he was basically letting me know it was pretty cool. He's pretty pumped about it. He's a big baseball guy, so anytime you can get somebody to laugh like that, that's huge. He's also been very, very good to me, giving me some good pointers. He's a funny dude. I appreciate everything he's done. What kind of pointers do you think they are? Are they baseball pointers? Like, hey, your swing is messed up. Or is Derek Holland getting into comedy? That's your comedy news for today. Subscribe on Apple or Google. Follow on Spotify. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.